Hello everyone, we just wanted to do another video just to show you coat maintenance for your longer coated breeds. So this is Hallie, she's our little miniature poodle. She's 8 months old, so she's starting to go through coat change, which means her coat's a lot harder to keep on top of. So if any of you guys have got puppies around that kind of age, you may find the coat knotting up faster and being a little bit harder to maintain. So I'm going to show you a technique called line brushing, which is a really good way of keeping on top of the longer coated dogs because it ensures that you get right down to the base of the coat. So I'll show you the equipment that we tend to use. We've got Hallie quite high up on a high surface, just so that she doesn't really feel inclined to run about anywhere really. She tends to stay quite still. So this is the equipment that we tend to use. So you've got a curved slicker brush. So the brush itself is curved and then it's got little pins in it. Now this won't hurt the dog providing you don't stay in one spot for too long and don't brush too hard. But this is the best type of brush to use on this sort of coat. Then your next piece of equipment will be your comb. You need one that's got quite narrow teeth so that you can make sure that you're finding all those really small knots that sometimes the slicker may miss. And then we have a nice detangling spray. You don't need a lot of this. It's a really good quality one, and we just put that on just before we brush her, and it helps to keep the knots away for a little bit. It's not a miracle cure, it won't fix knots, but it will help you to brush them out if there are some there. So yeah, I'll just hand my camera over and I'll show you a technique called line brushing. So I'm going to use the slicker brush first, and we always use the comb afterwards. And what we do is you lift the bottom of the coat up so that you can see the base of the coat, so you can actually see the skin. And then you brush that area, and you want to go right the way round the coat. You can see already that it looks different once it's had a brush. We've separated every little piece of fur. And then put the leg down and start a little bit higher and do the same thing. A lot of people make the mistake of just picking the dog up and then just whipping over them like that and just giving them a quick brush and thinking, yep, it looks brushed. But what happens when you do it that way is you're not getting right to the base. So you can still see the kind of kink in the coat. So that's when you need to make sure that you're getting right to the base of the coat. If you have got fur, if your dog's got fur that's longer than this, you can sometimes use a hairdryer, which will help to blow the fur apart so that you can see where you're brushing. So if you've got someone who can hold the hairdryer for you while you're brushing, then that's always good. Make sure you get every single area of the dog, not just the outside of the leg. You need to make sure that you can get the inside too, because that tends to be an area that people miss because it's not somewhere that they look or really stroke. So make sure you're getting the inside of the leg as well. And then you should be able to comb through that. And hopefully we won't find any knots. It's been a few days since Hallie's been brushed and she likes to gallop about, so potentially we may find some little knots in there. And you see how the coat's snagging, the comb's catching. So that's like a little knot there. And what the comb does is the comb's found it. The slicker brush didn't, but the comb has. Once your comb can go through, and you've got to get right to the base of the coat. And once your comb can go right the way through, then you know there's no knots. And that's that leg done. So it's the same principle with your body. So you need to try and make sure, with Hallie having such a springy coat, it's easier. But it's the same thing, you need to be able to see the base of the coat before you start brushing. And then you know that you're getting right to the base of the coat. Also, whenever you're bathing your dogs as well, make sure that you do not scrub them with a towel. So, you know, don't pick the towel up and scrub the coat. You're best to do it with a towel, but just tamp them down, just squeeze them out instead. A lot of people make the mistake of scrubbing them, and then that tangles them straight back up again really easily. Same as when they're allowed to air dry and they run around and jump about all over the place and rub their bodies all over the rug. That also kind of knocks them up a little bit, so just make sure if you are letting them air dry that you brush them immediately after. So the line technique again, you need to part the coat, be able to see it, and you can see the coat, the base of the coat. Make sure you get all your little problem areas, so your armpits, make sure you're brushing all of them. Again, don't stay too long in one area with your slicker brush. And when you've got this leg lifted up, you can also do the inside of the other one. So this is just a quick one, so I'm not doing it all over. Make sure as well you get your ears, so hold your ear flat in your hand and then brush it with the slicker. And then you make sure that you're not going to, you know, hurt the ear with the slicker brush. She's got all sorts in her ears. She's into everything, aren't you, Hal? And then don't forget the inside as well. Make sure you brush the inside too. Sometimes you can hear the little knots in the slicker brush, and you know they're gone when it doesn't sound quite as scratchy. And the insides of your ears, and especially under here as well. Obviously Hallie, with her having a shaved face, you don't see as much, but underneath the ear is an important area, and that's an area that people don't think about, but it tends to be an area that people will stroke. And then the tail as well, don't forget your tail. That's another area that people sometimes forget with the longer coats. And you can do the same thing where you take it, lift it up at the top, and then brush down and keep taking layers. Yeah, inside your back legs, your armpits, your chest. If your dog wears a harness, you may find that you get knots more around the chest area and inside these front legs. So you need to make sure that you brush them as well. So popping your dog up on a high surface if your dog doesn't like being brushed tends to make them a little more happy to stay still for you. So same thing again with the line brushing. Mind your head seat. Lift it up and then brush. You can hear the knots. Look on that bit there. So that's the line brushing technique. If you've got any questions, then obviously you can pop any questions in the comments and we can answer you as quickly as we possibly can. But yeah, happy grooming, and we'll hopefully see you soon. Bye.